Here comes a new challenger!
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to a later night edition of a show I like to call Chat and Draw, a show where I conversate with people while drawing, hence the team and the drawing. And you guys can, let me see here. Yeah, apologize for a little bit. I'm still trying to get used to this new setup that I got moved in here. All right, but so I'm Mike Watson, founder of Freestyle Comics, 1/4 of the Agents of Nerdy, and the most enthusiastic person in comics, aka most epic. I've just discovered and learned that I have to say the whole thing. There's some people that didn't get the connection of most epic and most enthusiastic person in comics, but that's all right. It is what it is, and we keep on moving. So I've got myself to say it every now and again to keep it moving. Now, we were streaming on, we are streaming right now. We are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch right now. Why is it not on Twitter? Says Twitter, or maybe nobody's watching. No, because it would still say, I don't know, man. Tech does not want to work for me today. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? That's crazy. I'm having all types of tech issues. All right, so for those who may have just been turned in, this is Chat and Draw, show where I literally sit down, chat, and draw. I'll be having the Sterling Brothers over here soon, and we'll be talking about a comic book that they are working on through Kickstarter called Joystick Angels. Until they get on here, I'm going to call out mine, the Hot Shot Collection, which is doing great right now. I have no complaints about this Kickstarter. It is at $6,723. If you guys would like to pledge or help share this Kickstarter, here's the link to it. I'm going to send it right to you. Go check it out. Okay, it says we're on Twitter. Why isn't it showing up? All right, whatever. We're good. It's posting on Twitter, so we're fine. All right, so our goal is $6,000 on my campaign, but we're at $6,723. We hit our goal in 42 minutes, and I have all of you to thank. That's crazy. That's the quickest Kickstarter that I've ever had hit. And like, woo! I feel amazing about it. But we still got 28 days to go. And now we're in stretch goal territory. And there's a few people that are very excited about our stretch goals because if we do the hashtag 10 for 10, you're getting Hotshot 10 for free. Brand new Hotshot issue. A brand new Hotshot issue has not been out in 3 years, and we're giving you that one for free. We get and we hit the stretch goal of $10,000. Now there's other stretch goals that are coming before that or whatnot, and it's all love. We appreciate any and everything you're willing to do. But we still got, like I said, 28 days to go, so we're gonna see if we can knock this out. Maybe even get some more on here. So if you've already pledged, thank you so much. Please continue to share it out. The more people see it, the better. All right, looks like company's in the building. I'm a little rusty here. I'm gonna get used to this new setup. Don't worry.
Here comes a new challenger. I think it's time for me to save the day.
What's up, Mr. Sterling?
Yo, man. Mr. Most Epic in the building. You know what I'm saying? The one and only. The Prince, the God, the King. Michael Watson. Let's go. Let's get
What's up, sir? How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Congratulations, man. I was listening to the good news, crushing these numbers, doing your thing. I'm so happy to see that shit. You have no clue. Let's go.
Dude, I appreciate that. Appreciate that a whole lot. But the man or the men that's kicking Kickstarter in right now with over $14,000, sir, that's y'all. Congrats on that. Because you guys
Thank you so much.
Would you guys hit the first or second day?
We hit our goal of 8K in 23 hours.
Ooh.
Yeah, buddy, Mix. Yeah, buddy.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's incredible. Now,
thank you, man.
It looks like you're on the same path of destruction that you were with your last Kickstarter that, took the wind out of them. You were on a full-blown rampage. Let's talk about what have you done differently from that Kickstarter to this one, if anything at all?
It's a great question, man. This time I really focused more on just pre-gaming, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of pre-gaming. So I did a lot of preparation on my Kickstarter page, a lot of preparation on the assets. Trying to think, just preparation like crazy, man. I was trying to get as many people as I could to sign up for the project before it dropped. So they were just like ready to click the support button as soon as they saw the notification for it. Just a lot more preparation, man. I was much more prepared. Everything was a lot easier in terms of the setup because I kind of already knew my way around the woods a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Before I was just kind of walking around like, yo, I don't know where I'm at. You know what I mean? But this time I knew just a little bit more. Legend Storm TV, what up?
Legend was hooked. He's a huge fan of Sentai comic books. So you had him off the gate.
Thank you. Appreciate that so much. Fun fact, Alchemist, when it debuted in 2015, was the only Sentai comic on the market. There was no Ultraman. There was no Power Rangers. There was no anything Sentai. It was all me in 2015. And now, obviously, the market's crazy for the genre, which I'm happy to see because I love the genre. Absolutely.
Do you think that helped you?
It's a good question, man. I mean, I didn't even really think about it in those terms of there's nobody doing Black Sentai comics right now. I was just like, I love this genre so much. I just want to make comics like that. So that's exactly what I did. And then lo and behold, all these people are telling me, it's like, yo, man, I see that now the Sentai genre is really getting more popping. There's more people that are doing it. And hopefully I had something to do with that, or maybe some people saw the books or were inspired by the art, or I don't know. We never know. You never know.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't realize that. Because what you did over 35,000 on that Kickstarter, right?
You're talking about the Alchemist Kickstarter, the first one that was 22K.
22K. Okay. So
yes,
I didn't. Obviously, I jumped on board with that because the project was dope. Complete fire, but then to potentially add to it, the market was dry at that time too. Did you know that going in, or was that a coincidence you realized afterwards?
I did not know any of that going in, man.
Okay.
I am I'm the worst marketing planning person there is. Like I'm like I just get lucky. I've gotten lucky twice, but I would even, it's kind of like a mixture of luck and then just having a great product. And obviously, you know this better than anybody, Mike, that after going to cons for years, you build like a loyal support group, you know what I'm saying? And they show up big and they share it with their friends, and then it becomes this whole wildfire thing. And I think a lot of folks were very surprised. So it's like, wait a minute, I've never seen this online before. And I'm like, well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be online to have a presence. You can have a presence in person. You know what I'm saying? You can literally be, you could have a really, really cool support group from just doing regular cons.
Absolutely. So how important is before the pandemic and after the pandemic, obviously? How important is the comic book convention circuit to you?
Man, like, to be perfectly honest, I love talking to people online, but I even love it better when I get to meet them in person. You know what I'm saying? I get to shake hands, I get to get some folks dab, I get to hug ladies, kiss babies, all that stuff. So I miss cons quite a bit, man. And honestly, it's been tough. Last year was crazy. I mean, thankfully, the Kickstarter was so incredibly successful that we were able to reach every person that we would have missed at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, the online stuff is definitely important, but I definitely encourage folks as they're getting more into making comics to just do every comic convention you can. Spread your wings as far as possible.
Awesome. So with the world starting to open back up a bit, are you going to be hitting any type of shows towards the end of the year, or are you just going to pass until next year?
I'm diving right in, man. I'm going to be fully vaccinated by June 9th. I'm going to be going to BlurredCon in July. And then following that, I'll probably be at AwesomeCon as well as DragonCon Atlanta. So I got quite a few really, really great shows planned and lined up, and I'm super excited about it because I love the DMV. I love the ATL. I love the vibe down there. The people are amazing. So I'm just happy and excited to be able to be back at shows. But I'm going to be wearing my mask. I'm going to be wearing some gloves. I'm going to be pounding people out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all we're going to do.
I dig it.
Yes, sir.
So I reached out to AwesomeCon. So I don't know why, man. I don't know if it's the algorithm or whatnot, but now it's just not popping up on my feed what shows are happening and still moving forward. I try to hit up AwesomeCon. They already sold out the tables. BlurredCon, I was in on BlurredCon before, and I've been trying to get a hold of somebody to see if I can still get in and whatnot, because I was doing panels and stuff. But Moana is out there. She said I can kick it with her out there, so I'm probably going to do that. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm trying to get into as many comic book conventions as I can. I have waited long enough. I'm ready to go, man. Like, mask up, hand sanitizer, all that business. But I need some comic book conventions back in my life. I love talking with people. I love doing panels. The interaction and the engagement here. I just miss it.
Absolutely. Paige Alfred, what's up, man? What's going on?
What's
Good to
up,
see
Paige?
you. Was it Legend Storm TV? I'm a huge fan of Power Rangers and Toku in general. I'm in a few Power Rangers RPs. That's dope, man. Yeah. So the Toku genre is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I mean, again, it's hitting like a wildstorm right now, and like I said, I'm just happy that we were able to kind of get our foot in early with some of those, more unique stories, man. So I'm just very excited that you guys are liking it. And I guarantee you there's a whole lot more dope shit to come. So stay tuned, please.
Awesome. So, all right. So I had this whole big thing planned out, but then I saw how many characters you had. So this piece is going to have to be separate. This is just a you and me crossover with as many characters as we both have or whatnot. Trying to make them fit on there. It was not working. If I could plan out the layout, I could do it because I had it with 3 other crossovers.
Gotcha.
But because the challenge of that one was drawing it live without any prep or anything, I was not going to be able to make it work. So your Joystick Angels and my Heroes International are teaming up on this one.
That's cool, man. Like I said, like you're doing the heavy lifting over here. I'm not mad at you. But yeah, everybody who's watching, you know, we got 5 viewers. I know this is going to grow to even more, but I'd love to just tell you a little bit about what Joystick Angels is. As Mr. Michael Watson does his thing, you can watch him draw this masterpiece. Joystick Angels is a sci-fi space opera comic series centered on 5 young black space pilots who are essentially tasked with something incredible, saving the universe from an evil alien empire. This alien empire is a parasitic or hive-minded organism that basically goes from planet to planet, universe to universe, absorbing resources, very much like in a Galactus type, vein, if you will. And as they absorb these resources, they absorb all the the life on each planet, all the creatures and life on each planet, and leave it basically like a barren rock, a barren wasteland. And that's exactly what happened to Earth in this particular comic book. So, yeah, Earth is a memory, and the only surviving colony is the Libor space station, where all of these young kids and these adults live. And it's very much a militaristic type of society. The highest honor is fighting this alien empire. So these Joystick Angels, the Joystick Angels, these characters, cast of characters, are really dope, man. They're a lot of fun. If you like 80s and 90s shoot 'em up style space video games, you're absolutely gonna love Joystick Angels. It's really in that vein. If you like Star Fox, Grady Asteria's Twin, those really cool projects, those really cool games with like the dope soundtrack, that's what we're really delivering with this comic book series.
Right on. So I was automatically bought in when I saw the first promo up. When you said we have a Kickstarter launching with these characters, I was like, and off gate, like, talk to me about how you guys decided to put together the flyer, because it screams 90s video games era. Like, it just was like the perfect combination of all those things. How did you guys come about that design process?
Oh man, I appreciate that. Well, first of all, it was, obviously my artist, Wellington, who did a lot of amazing pinup art for us. It was basically him and, me and my team, we came together and we're like, okay, well, we're pushing the 80s vibe. So we're going to do lots of bright neon, we're going to do magenta. We're going to do the teals, the bright greens. Andy, what's up? Thanks for coming through. What's it called? Yeah, so we really wanted to push that. And like I said, we were doing lots of research on what comes up when you search 80s, 90s font or 80s and 90s, graphics. And that's kind of what way we were building our marketing and a lot of our imagery on, So that's really what it was, man. I wanted to just hit people over the head with that because we love that time period so much. And that's what you're going to get with Joystick Angels.
All right, so let's talk about these characters, because these are some really awesome character designs. Characters are super unique, and they got a lot of fucking style, man. A lot of style. So, like, it's a great, the thing about anytime I approach a new comic book, like, I try to put everything I can into making the character designs fun and unique and interesting. And for me, because like the 80s and 90s was such a big inspiration for this comic series, I wanted the fashion to be just all like crazy, So I wanted there to be a lot of loud colors, I wanted there to be a lot of, ostentatious type, garments, like the space boots are crazy. Like, everything about it is very much, it's very robust. So if you look at the main character, Fox, who's the leader of the team, Fox is very much a brash, cocky, arrogant type of young kid, but he's super great at leading a team. Like, he's just a quintessential leader, and he's decked out. Quintessential. What a good damn word.
I've been reading the dictionary, man. But yeah, these Fox is dope because Fox literally he's all about stealth as well. So he's got like very much decked out in like a stealth type uniform with like he's got like cool blaster rifles. His second in command, who you're drawing right now, Deuce, is a humanoid animal hybrid panda character who is essentially like the fighter on the team. Like she could really beat anybody's ass. She's like a fighter, but she's also is in charge of space exploration, or at least space testing. You know what I'm saying? They go to different planets. They make sure that it's habitable for humans, and that's really where a lot of these animal humanoid characters come in to play within the story. And again, you've got characters like Dragonetti. Dragonetti is the resident musician, dancer, singer, actor, you know what I'm saying, thespian, you know what I'm saying? He's very much a creative type of dude. And what is it called? Dragonetti he's also the fastest pilot in all of the Libor space station. So he's really kind of a dope addition to the team. And then you've got Legs. Legs is an Afro-Latina queer character who is all about tech. She builds, and fixes all the ships. She builds drones and, different blaster rifles. She's really a dope character that's all about tech and building stuff. And last but not least, there's Tank, the, Stacey Dash-ish type chick of the group, you know what I'm saying? That before she was brainwashed with the Fox News shit, you know what I'm saying? But really a dope character. And she also is very much into espionage and spy stuff. Andy's got a question. So Andy says, Deuce, a reference to PandaCon from Mirage or Rocket Raccoon? Great question, man. Honestly, neither of those. I don't even know who PandaCon is from Mirage, but I would say I am a Rocket Raccoon fan. I just like pandas. And I think they're one of the dopest bears, but she's actually a red panda. So the red panda is more of a rare species of panda in the world. I think they're endangered or whatever, but like they're actually red and orange in the face and like shades of brown. So that's technically the type of creature that she is, a red panda.
So how did you go through the character selection? Like what was the character creation process like? How do you narrow it down to these characters? Were there other characters that were created and you had to crunch it down to the ones you really liked? Was these combinations of a bunch of different things or whatnot?
That's a great question, man. Honestly, I wanted to kind of really make it like a family vibe, like, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like Teen Titans or Fantastic Four, like a tight group of misfit type characters that are very, very unique and different personality wise. So I was thinking 4 or 5 characters originally. So I think we did 4 characters originally, and then we came to Deuce, the panda character, last, and we're like, she was kind of like the one that made it, like, she's the one that really is gonna bring this whole thing together.
Why is that?
That's a great, I think for me, man, it was kind of missing something. And I was like, you know what? Wait a minute. Okay, so real quick, PandaCon from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I do know PandaCon. And I apologize, Andy, because I'm so rusty on my TMNT stuff that it's crazy. But I was a huge TMNT fan, and I did like PandaCon. Maybe it was subconscious. Maybe it was in my mind that, I got to have a panda character in there that just kicks ass. But yeah, I wanted there to be something different about this series. Like, to me, just an all-human team just kind of felt like it had been done already. And I'm like, it'd be really dope if in the future we're in a space where characters that are a little bit more in the kind of discriminated against, but also needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like sometimes Black folks we're so discriminated against, but it's like Black culture and what we bring to the world is so robust and so multifaceted that it's like, okay, sometimes you want to hate us, but you really low-key love us all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because of how amazing our culture is. So there's a tiny bit of that type of allegory in there with, some of these animal humanoid characters that they're just people aren't 100%. They look at them as more like, okay, we need them to survive versus like, oh, they're completely accepted in, this particular society. So we deal with some of those kind of tropes and some of those, what is it called? Situations in this book with, what does it look like? How does this creature, how does this person, Deuce, feel about being like the parakeet in the mind? You know what I'm saying? How do you feel like being the person that is the only one that can let them know that, oh, this is safe for humans to be on this particular planet?
Oh, that's crazy. So like, that's messed up. So there's a bit of racism here with this character, against this character, but this is the character that helps keep people alive. So at any moment, she could be like, fuck it. It's not, it's safe. And then it really not be.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I think in this particular society that what we, hey, BS Digital, what's going on? So what we kind of end up seeing in this particular society is that they've moved away from, modern day, oppression or discrimination or anything like that, but they're still not 100%, I guess, okay with stuff that's outside of the norm in terms of like, creatures, if you will, because you have to think about it too. It's like, if there's no more Earth, what they're doing is that they're, taking animal DNA and splicing with specific, people or characters within the particular world. So yeah, man, I mean, it's very much an interesting, unique story, a unique tale, that we're covering a lot of different things. And we're also covering too, Andy has another great question, which I'm going to answer in a moment. Well, another great thing too that's really kind of interesting about Joystick Angels is that this is all about Afrofuturism. It's about seeing people that we know, people that we're familiar with in futuristic spaces that typically are not, that we don't see each other in. I mean, I think anybody who's growing up watching Star Trek or Star Wars, the diversity was very minimal. And in this case, diversity is the name of the game in this particular story, but it's not forced. It's, organic. Like in the future, this is what diversity could look like. I mean, if we all get our minds right, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, Andy Shaggy Cordy says, since you have animal people, does anybody want to eat them? I mean, they look delicious. That's a good question. I haven't thought about that. Maybe there's going to be a villain of the story that wants to eat all these animal humanoid creatures. We'll see.
Well, I'm definitely hungry, so this is my first meal today.
Yeah, because you on the grind, man. You're on the grind, Doug. And y'all, I was just on a chat with Victor for the Afro Animation Film Festival last week.
Mm-hmm.
And you two definitely have this whole hardest working man in comics thing like ironed out. I'm just trying to be like y'all. I'm trying to live in the world. You know what I mean?
Brother, you already got your passport. You good.
Straight up, man. Shout out to Victor and Vantage House, man. Doing incredible things. So proud of that dude. He's an amazing person and absolute great creator. So love to see him win. And just happy to see how Hot Shot resonates, with so many folks. I know that was your guys' love child and your brain, your what's the word I'm looking for? Is it brainchild or love child? One of them childs.
I'd say love child.
Word.
Yeah, I was very surprised at how quickly it hit. Like none of my Kickstarters have hit this fast, and that was. And then Vic will be the one to tell you. He's the one that was like, you need to just go ahead and pull it all out because people have been waiting for Hot Shot. I'm like, ain't nobody waiting for Hot Shot, man. I'm still working on my audience. Apparently, people are waiting for Hot Shot.
I mean, it's a dope character. The name is fire. And like I said, like I personally like the action. I get Blue Beetle vibes. I mean, I've always been a big Blue Beetle fan, but like I said, a little doper, you know what I'm saying? Because it's more superhero. So I'm with it, man.
Love it. Thank you. So with this cast of characters, it seems just like thank you, Andy. It seems like character is super, super important for you. So in the process of creating, what comes first, character or story, when you're coming up with these new ideas?
That's a great question, man. I mean, I think for me, what was exciting was doing the research on everything. Like, I mean, I was literally dialed in. Like, okay, I had all these folders of different reference that I was thinking for the characters, and I think for me too, it actually informs better storytelling in the comic book when I have character designs to look at. I mean, I'm very much a visual creator. Since I'm an artist just like you, I draw all of my other comics I draw. So having the character design set up in front of me, it's like, okay, now I can kind of draw, I can illustrate the story to their strengths as I'm kind of doing everything. So
Mhm.
that's kind of how I work.
Okay. So, and this series that we're facing, also, guys and gals, if you did not see it, I apologize. I put it in the chat for you guys to go over to the Kickstarter. I'm gonna put it in there again. Go over and take a gander. Open up another window. Leave this window open. Take a look at that. If you have not pledged to it, go ahead and pledge. If you have pledged to it, go ahead and give it a share along with this vid right here. So yeah, you're sitting at you're on the cusp of 15. You just got a pledge. So now you're at $14,923. So you're almost at 15 right now.
Let's go. I'm with it, man. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, keep them coming. Like I said, once we hit 15K, it's our third stretch goal, and that particular stretch goal is a free masterclass on comics and the production of music. So if you're a music head and you want to learn more about music production from my brother, who is a very, very talented producer, engineer, and artist, you can learn from him. Or if you want to learn more about comics, Kickstarters as well, you can take a masterclass with me, and that's free and accessible for anybody who backs the Kickstarter campaign or has backed the Kickstarter campaign once we hit 15K.
Awesome. Yeah, I got a bit of that masterclass session a little bit beforehand. How important is peer consultation? People that are in your group, your age group, your experience level, learning from each other.
I mean, I think it's incredibly important, especially, I mean, if we're all in the same race when we're trying to get to the same destination. I mean, if one person picks up a trick or, a cheat code, if you will, it's always kind of good to learn that or to talk to people about that. And I'm also a firm believer too in just, putting in your own reps, you know what I'm saying? So if you are, if you really don't know something, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it's easy, it's even better to figure it out in real time versus just getting, I guess, asking someone. So it's kind of like, give and take, you know what I mean? Like, personally, I find the master classes that I've done in the past have been really, really helpful for a lot of people. So again, I love to help anywhere that I can, but I'm also like a tough teacher. I encourage you to experience as much as you can and do as much of the legwork as possible. So, you're putting in, you're earning your stripes just like everyone else,
Say it again.
Yes.
Man, I cannot stress it enough. Like, I love helping people. I love passing on whatever it is that I've learned. I love having those discussions. But what I hate doing, TJ, you can agree or disagree with me. I hate pouring my time into something and like, hey, this is what I did. And, specifically prefacing what these are my experiences. I'm not saying I know all the answers. All I'm saying is this is what worked for me and this is what hasn't worked for me. And you sit down and you spend time with this person and then like they do nothing. They absolutely, I mean, they don't even take one string of advice that you give them. And they still do things in a way that's not working.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you, Doug. I could definitely say that if you are coming to the table and asking for advice on some half-ass shit, or you're just not really listening, you're not soaking it up or putting it into action, you're doing yourself a disservice, but you're also kind of wasting the creator's time, you know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's why too, like for so many years, I went to comic conventions and I was always showing my portfolio and asking for advice. And the first couple of years I did that, people were kind of looking at me like, wait, I don't know how serious this dude is. But when they saw me the third year, the fourth year, the fifth year, the sixth year, like, yo, this cat's always here. He's serious about trying to be in this business. I'm going to give him as much advice as I can to try to help him. You know what I'm saying? So, when people see the intention, you actually get more. You know what I'm saying? You gain more traction. You gain more advice when people see how serious you are as a creator and how serious you take your craft. So, but yeah, man, it's always an interesting thing. You can obviously bring the horse to the watering hole, but you can't make them drink. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of how life works.
Yeah. Well, it's a thing. It's a thing for sure. But then, then you do have those people that, they may not. Of course, no one's going to do every single thing you suggest or whatnot. But you see them take the notes that you've given them and they made them their own, and they're out there like working and like, dude, I can get behind that person. I can get behind that person all day, every single day.
Yeah, because you made an impact. You touched their lives and how they do their overall business. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a beautiful thing, and I want to see more of that for Freestyle Comics and Michael Watson and myself and Ray Comics. And Andy Shaggy says, I want in on that masterclass. Yes, Andy, super easy. All you have to do is back the campaign. Whether you back at 5, 10, 20, 100, whatever it is, you back the campaign. And we get 50 to 15K. You get any masterclass you want, either whether it's music or whether it's comics. You choose. You get 2. You know what I'm saying? From 2 well-seasoned individuals. So all you got to do is back. Simple.
Now I would like to switch it over to this, because so you are the first person outside of Karen Nicole, because I saw Karen Nicole doing it too. But I know music's been a part of your life for a while. Doing an album. I had music made like 15 years ago, and like I've just always been sitting on. I've just always been sitting on the tracks, and I started giving them away for free with our website. If you order a copy of Hot Top, you get one of the tracks for free. But then I added it on one of the Kickstarters before, and I added on here. You made it a real big thing on your Kickstarter, though. Like, I just did it like more so of, damn, that'd be cool to have like some hip hop music to go along with it. But like, I felt like yours was a big production, man. Like, I felt like the music was truly fit to be in the scope of this specific project.
Right.
And so, like, at what stage of the game did you guys decide to incorporate the music to go, and what made you decide to go that deep with it?
That's a great question. And yeah, I mean, personally, I absolutely love music. I mean, as a comic book creator, I cannot create. I can't draw a comic book page without having my headphones on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm in my zone and I'm creating, I'm listening to various different types of music. I'm listening to original soundtracks. I'm listening to the 70s, 60s, 80s, whatever, 90s hip hop. I mean, like, there's various things that inspire me as a creator, but always music is at the forefront of that inspiration. So I love music so much. I can't create without it. And, to me, music is just another form of storytelling. You know what I'm saying? So me and my brother are huge comic book fans. We have been since like 1985 or 1986 or whatever. And, we spent years buying comics together, collecting cards together, talking about comics, going to comic book movies with our parents. It was very much a huge part of our childhood. And, I've done lots of album cover art for my brother over the years, and we've never actually collaborated on a comic book project, though. So I was like, yo, if we're doing a comic book that's based on, a sci-fi video game, space opera style thing like Gradius or Star Fox, it's got to have a fire soundtrack. It has to. So as the comic book was being written and developed, the music was being developed at the same time. It was just as much of an important facet of the story. It wasn't just the art, it was the music, everything about it. And we were like, yo, we don't want to just create a comic book that has some sounds. We want it to be a multi-tiered visual and audio you know what I'm saying, experience. You know what I'm saying? We want it to be a deeper level, you know what I'm saying, of an artistic experience with this particular world. We really want you to get into it. And I think the best way is like you're reading the Joystick Angels comic book and you're listening to, you know, your digital download or your physical CD, whatever it is that you want from the tier. You know what I'm saying? So it's just such a fun, different project. And like I said, I just wanted to do something different, man. I have not seen this in Black indie comics, really indie comics at all. I haven't seen anybody rock out with a dope ass soundtrack specifically for the comic book. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's break some new ground. Let's do something amazing. And that's really why we made it such a big deal in the beginning.
Excuse me. I mean, I love it. There's just a lot of things about the promotion work that you guys have put into this project that just shows a lot of consideration and attention to detail. Like, I feel like there was boards set up in y'all's houses for just like the right colors, the right hues. Like everything on your project seems very, very much so in that world's rules, in the uniform of what that is. For like the branding landscape is just on point. Was that something that you guys considered, or is that something that just kind of fell into place?
I mean, that was all intentional, man. I mean, again, like I'm an art major. You know, I've been an art major pretty much my entire life, all through high school, through college, and, you know, things like color theory, things like design, you know what I'm saying? Things like, you know, what is it called? Just, you know, making sure that the lines and the symmetrical nature of people's costumes, you know, in comparison to another all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally like one of those things, like you have 5 characters standing in a lineup. What makes them all look unique and different? It's really not only their aesthetic visually, but it's also how they're dressed, you know what I'm saying, and how they hold themselves, their body types. So we got really into the weeds of like, okay, Fox, the main character, is this, you know, kind of, you know, like lanky, skinny kid, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Deuce is, you know, this, you know, brolic, kind of curvaceous, you know, sexy panda human, you know, humanoid character. And then we got someone like Tank, who is very much a quintessential pretty girl, really into fashion, makeup, you know what I'm saying, you know, just really being, you know, sexy and attractive. And then Legs is very much, you know, into tech, you know what I'm saying? So her outfit is very, you know, tech driven, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like, you know, her boots and, you know, her gauntlets, everything about her screams what her character is. So it was really a very intentional thing to like, how do we make these characters look very, very unique, very, very cool, and just exciting to kind of just looking at them should be exciting. And that's really what we were going for.
Awesome. So with the actual world build, so we're talking about world building, we're talking about characters, we're talking about the story. How much prep, how much before actually happens for you guys before you actually start drawing the pages?
It's a great question, man. I mean, I'm again a huge fan of you know, working like an animator. I mean, before they even animate a script, animate a story, before they do an animatic or a storyboard, or even or anything artistic, like art related in terms of production stuff, pre-production stuff, and then final production stuff, they have sheets of character designs. They've got, you know, character write-ups. They got bios. They have literally like walls filled with different pieces of data and you know, interesting information about the character. So it's really one of those things, like if you're doing your homework and you're really doing it right, you're absolutely going to have all of this backstory to each character, to each facet of the universe, which makes it much easier to write, makes it much easier to have pinups done. I mean, I can't tell you how many times it's like that. Anytime I want a creator to do a pinup for Joystick Angels, they breathe a sigh of relief because they have all the art they need to just literally look at it and start drawing, which is exactly what Mr. Michael Watson is doing, ladies and gentlemen. He's drawing from the character designs we have, and he's doing an amazing job.
I'm clicking right through the character sheets as I go.
Daniel, what's up, man? Hey, I saw that you backed the campaign, Daniel. Thank you so much. You are absolutely going to get your, get your masterclass if you want it, man. And he says you got to know what you're doing, which includes knowing your characters. Absolutely correct. You got to know them like they're friends of yours. You got to know them like they're family, so you can really, really write them and illustrate them correctly. And Andy says a lot of what you said sounds a lot like what Doug Tenapple, what Earthworm Jim was an oh yeah. So dude, I absolutely loved Battletoads, Bucky O'Hara, and Earthworm Jim. Loved those series so much. They were fantastic. I was a big fan of those games. I mean, I was a huge Earthworm Jim fan on Sega Genesis, the first one. Such a great character, very, very cool designs. Andy, I'm still waiting to see your pledge come through on the Kickstarter, by the way. Wink, wink, wink. But yeah, man, I love off the wall weird stuff. I mean, I'm just a fan of to me, nothing was more dope than like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Earthworm Jim, what is it called? Star Fox, Sonic the Hedgehog, Rocko's Modern Life, Duckman, you know what I'm saying? I just loved, the Max on MTV, Eon Flux. Like, I like these really off the wall, weird superhero-ish type stories, you know what I'm saying? These weird underdog type characters. And that's really kind of the characters we make at Ray Comics, just like different stuff. Like, you can really go to any superhero, you can go to any comic book company and find a superhero story. But with Ray Comics, you get a little bit of different, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get the filet mignon, you know what I'm saying? You get like some of the more, more rare stuff, you know what I mean? Oh, no worries, Andy. I'm just giving you a hard time, man. I appreciate that. He says it will come through after the show. You're inking right now. That's cool, man. Hopefully you can DM me with some of the work you're doing. If you can show it, I'd love to see it. I love watching process stuff, or just love seeing the inked page. I draw everything Clip Studio now. I even have Clip Studio on my iPad, so that's what I'm drawing with while I'm traveling. So yeah, I'd love to see whatever you're working on, dude.
I think we're gonna go for it. I think I'm gonna dive right into the inks here. All right, so this is probably going to be a tough question for you, TJ.
Let's go. I like tough questions.
Which character is your favorite?
Oh man, that's tough. Shoot.
I warned you.
Yeah, that's a tough question. It's kind of a toss-up, actually. Well, shit, that's the. What are you doing this to me, man? I would say, I'd probably have to say Legs. Legs is dope to me, man. She's an Afro-Latina queer character who's the tech person, resident tech officer. She fixes everything. The Joystick Angels can't be a team without Legs. They just can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she's really one of those characters that is kind of like the heart and soul of the team, a little bit of an underdog, you know what I'm saying? She's really incredibly brilliant. And I just love brilliant, strong women, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just love brilliant, strong women. And shout out to all the amazing, brilliant, strong women in the comic book world. Cerise Rennie Murphy of Virtuous Con, Vida Ayala, writer extraordinary, who's absolutely incredible. Afua Richardson, Sheba Maya, you know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely incredible, talented individuals who are fantastic to be around, fantastic. No, shout out to Regine Sawyer. Shout out to our editor, the Ray Comics editor-in-chief, Dr. Shamika Mitchell. She's absolutely lovely, an incredible person to work with, so I'm honored to have her on the team. But yeah, I mean, I would say Legs for sure.
Okay.
I love watching how the variation in your brush strokes. Most said breast strokes.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, the variation in line quality is actually really fantastic to watch. It's pretty beautiful. Live drawing, ladies and gentlemen, nothing better.
Drawing a panda person is new. That's a
Yeah,
first for the show.
Yeah, the last time you drew something for Okemos, it was the first two. I think we were going for a really crazy, like a really crazy version of Kale, the main character.
Yeah, it was him all armored up.
Yeah. All right. So Andy says, I ink traditionally brush and rarely a pen. Wow, that's amazing. That's a talent, man. One of my favorite inkers is Lobo Underwood, who is an absolutely incredible inker. He's incredible. His work is really fantastic and just makes me appreciate inking, because essentially what I'm doing when I'm drawing my Okemos comics, I'm a penciler by nature, but I'm adopting a lot of inking techniques as I'm drawing digitally, because essentially it's already inked. So it's always kind of interesting to splice those two, or to learn how to balance the two, if you will.
Yeah, it is. My hats go off to anyone that does inking traditionally, and I'm not talking now. I'm not knocking people that use Prisma pens or any of the technical pens for inking. Somebody that uses pen and ink to ink, you are a beast, because that is an unforgiving tool.
I mean, the interesting thing too is like there was this moment while I was, so rewind the tape, to 2009. The housing market crashes. Most people lost their job. I was one of them. I was working at this really crappy technical, was a telemarketing company. It was the only job I could find in my neighborhood that was hiring, was a telemarketing company. Like, oh, we like hearing your voice on the phone, so we want you to do telemarketing. So long story short, as I'm talking to people on the phone, I'm drawing on like these sketch pads. I have a sketch pad and I had like just loose leaf paper. So I was drawing on those as I was doing my telemarketing, and everything that I was drawing was all pen, because they didn't have pencils and I didn't bring pencils with me. So I was like, let me try to draw as much as I can with a ballpoint pen that I can't erase. So I was literally being extremely intentional about the line choices and what I was drawing, and it forces you to just make a decision and not second guess yourself, which is kind of a interesting exercise in being an efficient artist.
Yeah, I dig that. Did that make you develop more of a liking for it?
I would say yes, man. I mean, I said, like, I haven't done a pen and ink illustration in a while. I mean, again, because I've been doing digital for so long, but it does help me make more defined choices digital. Like I said, I think if I can get the line down one time, then I'm good. Like, so I try to put my best foot forward and be as intentional about just making it happen on the first try.
I dig that. That's why I dig the digital. It's very forgiving.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, again, I've had quite a few freelancers of mine who do work in the traditional space make a mistake on something and have to redraw it on a separate piece of paper, and then, literally cut it out of the paper and slap it onto the hand or the arm or whatever, piece of the body that they needed to alter. And with digital, obviously it's a cut and paste and draw on another layer or start a new one or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I'm huge fan of just digital and the flexibility it has and that it gives.
Dude, that's so funny you said it, because I was going through my original hotshot pages, because we're selling them on our Kickstarter, and I needed to get them organized. And there's so many pages where I have cut and pasted different panels on top of panels from mistakes and things like that.
Yeah.
On there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, man, too, because like Okemos issue 0, the very first book I ever drew was all pencil. It was all pencil on Bristol board. And, I had different tricks where I would literally like wear like a drawing glove, you know what I'm saying? Just those stuff. Well, I think this is before drawing gloves were around. And they came out, I think 2016, 2017 drawing gloves, you know, really hit the market. But before that, I had my hand rested on like a blank piece of paper while I was drawing on the edge of something. And, you know what I'm saying? Like if I messed up on something, I would have to redraw it completely, or it was just very much a laborious process for me to do traditional stuff. And as much as I loved it, I started to gravitate more towards digital stuff towards the end of the issue. Like I did the last page of Okemos in, you know, Photoshop, actually. You know what I'm saying? It's the first time I ever drew digitally. It was Photoshop. And I did the cover for Okemos issue 0 in Photoshop. So it was kind of like my intro into doing some digital art. And then eventually I got into Clip Studio when I discovered that program.
Right.
Andy says, dude, you have a very smooth voice. I want to hear you do some audiobooks. Andy, I hear this a lot, man. You know, I think it's literally because I've, you know, screamed at cons for a good 5-6 years. So my voice has become very scratchy and kind of deeper and, you know, more rustier over time. And that's really from being at cons and trying to talk over the loudspeakers or trying to talk over Michael Watson using a microphone at cons. That also happens too.
Hey, I'm there.
Andy says I cut up a sock and use it as drawing glove. Yeah, that works too, man. That definitely works too. Whatever it takes to like make sure that you are not smudging the page. Like, I mean, there was one point when I drew this double page spread of so I did this double page spread, which probably people will not see it unless they meet me at a con, of about 50 Marvel characters. So I did kind of like a Marvel Civil War thing where I had 50 different Marvel characters like fighting each other and all kinds of crazy, you know what I'm saying, wow stuff. And what is it called? You know, I was using workable fixative. Every single time I finished a character, I'd spray it lightly with workable fixative. And that basically saved me from smearing the shit out of the entire composition because it was a 2-page spread. So with the workable fixative, it just kind of locked in, you know, the progress, and then I would move on to another character. Yeah, and Daniel Hoyne says, I never go to cons without lots of water or cough drops. Yeah, man, I go to cons with lots of water, but cough drops is something I definitely need to invest in because I talk a lot.
Yeah.
Cons. A lot. And my voice is gone. Like day 3, my voice is gone. Now, I will say, though, some cons are like a tour de force. Like Dragon Con, for example, in Atlanta. That's a 4-day comic convention. I mean, and if you're there for the entire show, it's a 5-day show because they do it during the holiday, and it's just, bro, by day 3, you're exhausted. It's like, oh my God, you're burnt out, and you have to literally dig deep to find that additional energy to kind of continue on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can only imagine how dudes like, you know, the Tuskegee Airs, you know, creators, how they deal with this, because they've got tons of fans. They're always talking. They're on panels. I mean, they're beasts, man. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, after years of doing this shit, you kind of come up with tricks, and, you know, you eventually end up being built for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm here for it. I love how that sounds, dude. I'm ready for it. I remember when I went to BlurCon, and that was the first like kind of 24-hour kind of show I went to, and I was like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. These cats are still at it.
Still at it.
I mean,
BlurCon never ends.
I mean, not like just sitting out in the lobbies and playing video. I mean, there's still full-blown panels happening.
Oh yeah, still panels happen. People still in costume. There's after parties. Like, BlurCon is dope, man. Like, BlurCon is fire. Like, I suggest anyone who has never been to BlurCon go. You will absolutely love it. It's a fantastic experience, and it's a lot of fun.
I love BlurCon. I want to go back there so bad. That was my best show last year.
Yeah, it's looking really good, man.
Trying.
Like the foreshortening on that hand looks fantastic.
Thank you very much. Trying to get it in here. Like I said, you got some really nice design characters in it, and it's it's a little janky to say, but they have a lot of character to them visually.
Yeah, I mean they are very complex. I mean, I think if I had to draw them, I'd be like, God damn, it's a whole lot of detail. But see, people say that too to me as well about Okemos, that these characters are so detailed. It's like, how do I draw them accurately? It's like sometimes it takes people a couple of passes to really get into the flow of how it's supposed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you're watching Michael Watson do this, it will probably take him a couple more hours to completely finish, and we won't probably be on for that entire time. But I want you to absolutely follow everything that Michael Watson's doing if you're not already doing it. I imagine if you're on the stream, you're following. But if anybody who's follows me, I'm just suggesting follow my dude Mike Watson. Again, this piece is going to be fire. I can't wait for everyone to see it. We're going to get some colors thrown on it as well, and it's going to be dope, man. It's going to be dope.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Like you literally you can pledge anything you want to his campaign and my campaign, and you're getting this piece digitally for free.
That's right.
Yeah. So even if times are hard and you just want to give us both $1, boop, you're getting this piece digitally for free.
That's it. And all you got to do too is just like I think you pledge the campaign and you drop me a line, because you can easily message me within the campaign saying, hey, I came over from Chat and Draw and I backed this project because I wanted to get the free piece, and I will make sure that you get that piece, expeditiously.
Yeah, man, because that's the cool thing about doing these Kickstarters. I cheat because I want to play with everybody's characters. That's so I get these people on my show. I'm like, yeah, come on, I get you in Tuesday night.
I'm with it, man. Like I said, to me, this layout is already looking very, very fire. I love the layout. Daniel Hoyt sent Michael a friend request to try to follow as much as possible despite the Zuck.
Zuck?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Zuck is.
I don't know what Zuck is.
Oh, I think he's talking about Facebook because it's Zuckerberg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Where, no, that's fair, man. Like I said, you just you never know how these platforms are going to work, and I do know quite a few folks have taken Facebook hiatus, and more, case in point, brother Sean Mack taking a break from Facebook. Nothing wrong with that, but Sean Mack, if you're listening, I need you to check this campaign out, man. I need you to back it. I need you to jump on it because I know you love this particular book. I know Sean's a big supporter of Okemos, and we appreciate you. But we'd love for you to jump on Joystick too. So if you get a chance, man, take a look.
Yeah, this is actually right up Sean's alley, actually.
Yeah, if you talk to him before I do, tell him, hey, TJ's looking for you, man. He's got something for you.
Yeah, I will let him know. This is kind of like the stuff that he complains about, like not wanting to see more of.
Yeah.
Yeah, this piece is going to be pretty bombastic.
Yo, let's go. Shaggy approved. Let's do it.
Shaggy approved?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. It wasn't me. For real, man. For real. Yeah, so everybody, he's working on layers. If you can kind of see, like, this sketch was the first layer, and now he's kind of going in with, finer tuned lines from there, and then we're going to add on colors at the very end.
So,
I think what we're going to go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we're going to have Loris Ravina do the colors on this one because Loris is, he's the Joystick Angels colorist. And I do think that he might be a pretty good fit. Or, again, it's just the idea off the top of my head, but we can really figure it out. Make sure that he's, got the bandwidth to do it and all that good stuff.
Now, so I was going to say, on average, what would you say is the timetable for you to create and design a character, like from start to like this is it, this is greenlit, we're good to go?
Well, the beautiful part about the team that I'm working with is that they basically trust my artistic judgment in terms in direction. So a lot of times I'm doing character designs and sketches for characters, and then I'm handing them off to, let's say, the sequential artist, so they can kind of be a part of the character refinement process. So a lot of times it's, again, me doing most of the creative work, and that's also too for just purposes of me wanting to get my hands on the IP because I created it. And like, so I mean, you could get a really dope character design probably done within a couple weeks, just depending on how fast the inspiration hits, I would say, you know?
Okay. Okay, nice. So were there any other animals in discussion for this, or was it a panda right out the gate?
It was a panda out the gate, man. Like I said, I love pandas, and for me, I came, I don't know where it was, but I came across images of the red panda. You know, like if anyone Googles what a red panda looks like, it's really a beautiful creature. And I was like, yo, I've never seen a red panda ever on anything. I mean, they always use a black and white panda. What about a red one? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, yo, it'd be kind of dope if we saw that as part of the mixture in this particular tapestry of characters. Yeah, guys, you know, Joystick Angels is really dope. I mean, what you're going to get with issue 1 is you actually get kind of an interesting piece of the story. You know, we open up where we see the Angels playing a video game with a joystick, which is obviously an ode to that era of video games. But they're getting ready to actually compete in something called the Quantum Elite Space Tournament. And essentially, this is a tournament that occurs every decade at the Libor Space Station, where all of the Space Squadron teams in the Libor Space Station compete for supremacy. And what they get, whoever wins this competition basically wins the bragging rights and the title of Supreme Squadron. And those particular people, or the team who wins Supreme Squadron, that title, basically gets to lead the charge against the evil Eukarya. And the Eukarya is the alien parasite empire that's trying to destroy all of the universe. So it is very militaristic, the world that, you know, that of Joystick Angels, but it's also really fun, and it's, you know, perfect for kids. So if you've got a son or daughter that likes comics, there's no vulgarity, no swearing in this, there's no sexual situations of any kind. It's very much a book that's friendly and open for all people, so in all ages. So I would love for you guys to check it out.
How long do we see this running? Is this a limited series or ongoing?
Oh, this is going to be ongoing. I mean, right now we've got 6 issues planned, but we are absolutely going to continue to build this story and, you know, take it as far as we absolutely can, man. Because, like I said, I personally love the characters. I love the way they look. I'm very, very happy with everything about this book, and I'm just excited to continue to bring more stories to you guys.
So that was part of the thing. So the cat, what's Fox?
Yes, sir.
Is there a little inspiration of Michael Jackson in there?
I mean, you know, if you're thinking about the 80s, you know, brothers in the 80s had some weird hair, man. You know what I'm saying? If, you know, there's a little bit of Michael Jackson inspiration in there. There's a little bit of Prince inspiration in there. There's a little bit of Lionel Richie inspiration there. He's got the long, curly Jerry curl shag thing going on. So
yeah,
you already know.
Yeah, because I'm looking at my man like, that's some popping Jerry curl right there. When I saw
that's some soul glow right there for you.
Right. I saw the little S curl coming off the top of it. I was like, okay, we got some soul in this boy. Hold on now.
Let's go.
So what would be the ultimate end destination for this? Animated series, toy line, an actual video game?
Shoot, all of that, man. I mean, again, I think the biggest thing for us is obviously building a fan base behind Joystick Angels, the same way we did that with Okamus. You know, I got people that come up to me at a con and say, man, when is Okamus going to be made into a video game or an animation, or when am I going to see this on Netflix? And so people are already putting that out into the universe on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? Because they believe in the story, they believe in the characters, and we really want to continue to keep that train moving with all of our other IPs. So really and truly what folks are going to get with Joystick Angels is something that is a lot of fun, but also something that we're looking to do even more stuff with in the future. So, but we need your help to do it. We need your help to get these numbers on this campaign, and we need your help to take this whole thing to the next level.
Hold on. Sorry, a second. My laptop went into freaking sleep mode.
Oh, no worries.
We good, everybody? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good to go.
All right, cool. Yeah, so that's pretty dang cool, man. I always wonder, like, what's the ultimate, like, how far would you love this thing to go, or what's the destination where you're like, I'm good with that. Me personally, I'd be happy with just like a super dope toy line. Like, there's like, I've just envisioned this whole FSK toy line. All the figures are to scale. Each one of the figures would come with like some parts that would have like costume damage or something on them that you could swap out for certain parts. There'd be Rebel playsets that you can, like, how Marvel Legends does the Bath figures, the Build-A-Figures in each of the toy lines that come out.
Yeah.
Well, the Bath figure for this would be corner streets and cars and stuff. So you'd be able to make a whole block if you got all 10 figures in that line, and you'd be able to piece them together. And each one of those blocks or certain parts of it would have destructible reactions. So, those little clear little tubes that hold thing. So, like, you could have your character punching and the wall would be shattering from that. That'd be a piece that comes with the Bath. And
that's dope, man. I love that idea.
Because, like, when I'm posing my toys, that's the stuff that I'm thinking of. But, like, they have that stuff that's, like, they price gouge it. And it's really annoying because, like, they do it and they don't take it to, like, the fullest level that it could go. Like, for example, G.I. Joe figures. They got those, the grunts, the Cobra Commander, the Cobra grunts, the dudes in blue.
Yeah. Little
There's
foot
no
soldiers.
the little foot soldiers. There's no way in the world they should be the same cost as a Snake Eyes. Matter of fact, I should get 3 or 4 of them in a pack, and that should be equal in the price of one Snake Eyes figure because they're grunts.
That's right.
Everybody wants to have an army of Cobra or an army of foot soldiers behind Shredder. But a foot soldier should not cost $30 like Shredder does.
That's all facts, man. I mean, I'm an absolute huge fan of toys. I love toys. I mean, we did, figurines on our first Okemos Kickstarter, which really, sold out like crazy. And yeah, man, I would absolutely love to have like toys as well. I think for me, the biggest thing is like, because, it's like before Spider-Man or any of these big comic book IPs became, multimedia engines, for their companies, they had 30 or 40 years of comic book stories behind them. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people forget that. It's like they built a fan base for almost a century, like half a century's worth of story behind these characters, behind these IPs. So it's like you have so many people that are like, yeah, I pay money to see that. I pay money to see that. I pay money. And when you got millions of people that would pay money to see your movie or to your cartoon, the buying power that you have is just so much higher than just, someone who just jumps in the game with one comic book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just think that building your library is such a hugely important situation to, a huge important thing to do for yourself as a creator, like tenfold. It's going to pay dividends in the end.
Exactly. Absolutely agree with that. Making these comics is like a fool around business, and like that's what I was talking to was talking about the other day, having a conversation. Is like, I feel like every time I've done a Kickstarter, I've learned something new. And that's not a bad thing. But like as Kickstarters go on and I keep doing them, I'm thinking when I do my next Kickstarter, it should be easier because I've just done a Kickstarter and I've learned something. But then I got to this Kickstarter and then I learned a whole bunch more new stuff. Like the whole thing,
Right.
like what I started with got scrapped, and I had to come at it again from a different angle, basically from the bottom to the top of it.
Yeah.
It sucked having to do it again, but it was worth it because like I think everything that I've learned, or everyone that I got from the feedback from people, the critiques from people, sitting down and having the conversation. Like I talked to you about the whole Kickstarter thing. I got Lori Foster that keeps feeding me tips and she's helping me work it. Danny Cooper and Veronica Smith, they're working it. Victor Dandridge held me hostage after the movie and tore into me with his brutal opinion about it, like where he thought like where we were going and where he thought we should go. And Danny and I sat down and we talked about it, we reevaluated things, and we there were some good points being made where it seemed like even though we're trying to move forward, it doesn't appear like we're moving forward. It feels like we're stuck back back where we were 3 years ago. But rearranging and realigning this campaign this way, it's like, oh shoot, look at all the stuff that they are, they're doing. So I don't think a lot of people understand it.
I mean, bro, that's a great point. I mean, Kickstarter evolves. First of all, the comic book business evolves so fast. You know what I'm saying? And the fact of the matter is that Kickstarter is no different. This time around, I mean, I just did this previous campaign last summer, and this time around, a little less than a year later, the entire platform is almost completely different. We didn't even have add-on features last time. Now we've got all these robust add-on features, which is really helping us, connect more, stuff with and give our audience more. So it's like the platform's always adjusting itself. Art's always kind of evolving. It's just an interesting thing, man. So we got to ebb and flow. We got to pivot, and we got to be flexible.
Right. Like, what did we do? So the add-on thing was Hope News. I didn't know about the add-on thing when I did Chat and Draw. And then I came in this one, was like, oh, I should add my items first. So let me put all my items in first. Then I could do the add-ons and the tiers. And then, being a fan of a lot of different comic books and pledging to a lot of Kickstarters myself, I saw things that were working on other people's Kickstarters. Like, I'm doing that shit. I'm doing it. Like, trying to have a well-rounded thing, like variant covers. People love variant covers, which is so funny, right? Because when Marvel and DC do it, people dog it. They hate it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm watching people snatch up these indie crossover covers. All of them. They want all the smoke. Like there's my dude Ted Sakura, he got me, and I'm not mad at it. It was good business sense. He had a bunch of covers on his, and I was like, all these covers are pretty nice. But I saw this one cover, the Virgin cover that he had this dude do. It was a Virgin cover with his character Regina from Bloom, doing the whole like she was dancing, and it was a huge snake on the background. I was like, oh, I'm getting that one, and I'm looking through the tiers. I'm like, well, where's this cover at? And then I see it in the all cover tier, where you gotta get all 6 of them. And I just clenched my fist like, damn you, Sakura! But then I click pledge.
That's right. Shout out to Ted, man. Ted's a great guy. I love Ted. He's got some great books. Andy's got a comment. He says, I just don't think big. I'm really just about making the comics. I have other ideas for games, choose your own, adventure books, figures, a Love and Death Robot style cartoon, etc. But all I have are ideas. I just want to make comics and find someone who will turn my ideas into merch. Andy, it's not a bad idea, man. I mean, again, at the core of who we are as creators, we're comic book creators. And it's like mastering, having great content and great comic book characters is a tall tale in itself. So right. I just encourage you and everyone else who's watching this to just do a great job at like making comic books. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then everything else will fall into place if it's meant to. You know what I mean? Like, obviously a Netflix deal doesn't just drop in anybody's lap. Some people have to be very intentional about that stuff. But ultimately, I would love, you just really have to put your energy into being a great comic artist first.
Mm-hmm.
Or a great comic creator, even if you're a writer or whatever it is that you do.
because all this stuff wasn't being thought about, when we first got started. I didn't. If you asked, 10 years ago, Mike, about this type of stuff, this type of thing wasn't. I wasn't thinking about this. At most, I was thinking about T-shirts to have with me or whatnot. But that Netflix deal, and you saying it again made me remember. I really want people to get off of LaShawn's back. All right, Yasuke, Cannon Busters, because I really had to stop and think about this. Somebody put a comment on Facebook, and I don't remember who it was. They need to give somebody else a chance besides LaShawn Thomas, and I'm like, who else is putting in the work like he has?
Yeah, man. Like that type of comment is hella divisive, man. Like, I mean, folks, please don't say shit like that. The fact of the matter is that LaShawn has put a hell of a lot of work in, man. Like, he's put into work, and he's put in the work for decades. You know what I'm saying?
I remember seeing at comic book conventions when Cannon Busters was character designs, when it was in the art book, when he was part of the crew of Karan Grant, Ed McGuinness, him, and Sanford Green, when it was the four of them united, and they were putting out art books, and they had a website together. I remember LaShawn Thomas all the way back then, and I saw his Cannon Buster stuff, and you see him at conventions making comic books, pushing and doing, and to finally see him on, have his name on Netflix for Cannon Busters. Now, I admit, Cannon Busters was not for me. I still watched it out of, because I love anime, but I love seeing somebody take their shot. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And even if you don't like something, there's a way to say you don't like it without, bashing it and being disrespectful to it. I personally didn't mind Yasuke. I enjoyed it. I don't know what a lot of people wanted from it. Once I saw it was an anime, to me, in an anime, all rules are off. You never know what you're going to get when you're watching an anime. And, the fact that he was the director, executive producer, he his name was all over this. And I want other people to get shots. Like, I look at your project, and I think Joystick Angels is perfect for a Netflix animated series. Something if the right person catches it, or you put your pitch together and you walk into the office, I have full confidence that they'll see the good in it and be like, let's go. But you got to get that opportunity. And I'm not, it's just when I guess I did take it personal because I've seen LaShawn. I'm not saying I'm LaShawn's best friend or something like that, but I know of this guy. I've seen him work, and to see where he was and where he's at right now, just somebody else do what he's doing and they'll give him a shot.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that you got to have some skin in the game. That's a big start, and so this is the thing. Personally, what I loved about Cannon Busters was the design, the character designs. I liked the intention of it. I understood what he was trying to do with Cannon Busters because it was a very unique story, and I really liked it for that aspect. In terms of how it all played out, I wasn't a huge fan of how it ended. And some of the dialogue, but the intention for me was enough to see that, LaShawn's going to do some more stuff. It's just a matter of time. And I think the Yasuke joint was definitely cool. I definitely like where they were going with it. Ultimately, I'd love to see LaShawn have his own animation studio with I don't know, a legion of amazing Black creators, animating, drawing, creating, I'm saying? I'd love to see a studio like that.
Yeah.
That's probably my only critique or only suggestion is I'd love to see more of our people in this particular space really doing dope animated stuff. I'd love to see more African stories animated. I'd love to see more POC stories animated, period, across the board. I can't remember that one Netflix animated series where it was those three martial arts students, and they were Hispanic martial arts students, and it was a Latinx.
Oh, I'm waiting for the second season of that.
That shit was fire. You know what I'm saying? I don't even remember the name, but it was so dope. We need more of that stuff. Period. We need more of that.
Dude, I just knew that was going to get greenlit for a second season. I was all over it when I watched it because it had I wasn't the big, and that's the thing. I wasn't the biggest fan of the animation, but the story was good. The character was good. The action was good. The animation was a little stiff. I think people are willing, if you like kind of give it a generalized, like there's 3 things about an anime or 3 things about a movie. If you got 2 out of those 3 things, I can let something else slide because the other 2 things carry it around. Like Castlevania.
Incredible.
Castlevania was complete unholstered fire. Like when I watched that last season, it's like everything paid off. All the character moments, because all the one-liners worked, all the entrances worked, all the conversation worked, all the attitude worked. And that animation was not the greatest animation to me, but when that choreography got going for the fight scenes,
killer.
Dude. Oh my, like so good. Everything hit. When they got to that second to last battle, I was looking at that like, how are you going to top this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you still got 2 more episodes. How are you going to top this? Because this was amazing. And then
they topped that shit. That's what they did.
Completely.
No, you're absolutely right, man. I think there is definitely a space to do animation correctly. You know what I mean? Like from start to finish. We don't have to have some Game of Thrones shit where we start hot and then, fizzle out at the end. Like that's. But again, like I think the people who created Castlevania, Warren Ellis and his team, really paid attention to what the viewers wanted and cared about it. And I think when you do care about what the audience wants, you really make content that it hits on a different level. So, I mean, yeah, I love Castlevania. I love everything about that show. I'm kind of hoping they come back. I mean, like to me, it seems like that's it. 4 seasons is enough. I mean, it probably cost them $50-60 million, maybe even more, just to make that particular animation. So I'm not expecting to see it again, but I'd be happy if I did.
Yeah, I don't know what else they could do. Like I'm completely satisfied. If I got something again worthwhile, I'd be happy. But it just there's very few things where they just hit everything on the head. And what's so great is like the first season started off slow. And right when I got invested in, like, okay, I can ride with this, it was over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, it's good. And I do want more, I definitely want more anime like that or whatnot. And, like, it's kind of just always been, like, my thing. Like, again, I understand you don't have to like everything that's, got black characters in it or people of color in it. I mean, but, again, there's a way to have that conversation to where you're not decimating this thing, because if we rag on it so much, or if we don't even watch it, then they're going to stop doing it. That's why it's happening now.
That's correct.
The fan bases for these things have increased, and they are seeing that people are wanting to watch these things. And it's one of the things, which is another reason why I miss comic book conventions, because this is my favorite panel to have at a show is diversity in comic books and movies and stuff like that. Yeah. People would complain about how it's forced, and how Disney and DC are only doing it for money. And my question to y'all would be like, but why not? They're a business. Everything they do is for money. Who cares about what their reason for doing it is, as long as they're giving it to us? And then the automatic response is, well, it's trash, it's forced. And, they just keep gender swapping and race swapping characters. Well, some people need to see it that way. There's a certain audience that needs to see that level of diversity versus Shazam, which actually caught me off guard because I didn't realize it till the very end of the movie. When I saw all of them standing together, I was like, oh my God, they've got everybody in this movie. They're all different, and they didn't slap you in the face with it. There weren't signs, there weren't lights. It just existed. It just breathed. So, it's a fun conversation that I enjoy having and whatnot. But obviously we're getting more stuff, so we need to keep this up.
Yeah, we definitely need to be very careful about dragging it or trying to cancel it out there, because if that's what you're going to do, these executives pay attention to what people say on Twitter and Facebook and shit. Like, they pay attention. So I said, like, we need more content with POC creators, period. You know what I'm saying? And POC characters. So, but don't expect that it's all going to be incredible. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, all stuff that isn't POC isn't incredible. So why would you expect our stuff to be incredible all the time? Maybe because it's like, oh, we don't see a lot of it, so we want it to be dope. And I totally get that. But ultimately, sometimes it's not always going to be dope. Sometimes it's going to be, mediocre. and that's cool too. Like, okay, Cannon Busters can be mediocre, but still cool, and you know, and we can appreciate the intention behind it. But we got to continue to support Brother LaShawn, because what he's doing is really, you know, next level stuff, and we want to continue to keep that going. So,
because LaShawn can be the person to put somebody else on.
Exactly.
LaShawn is getting in a position to where, you know, he can start to make decisions. He can start to pull strings. He can be the person that says yes or no for certain people to get indoors.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And like I said, this is really and truly what it's all about. So you got to be on the grind, man. You got to get your creative juices flowing so you can be in that space. You could be in that space to compete. So Andy says Rooster Teeth said that season 4 was the end of Castlevania. Yes, I did hear that too. So no more Castlevania, y'all. Andy also says diversity in comics and pop culture is one of the best panels I've done with Mike. So it must be a lot of fun, man. I wish I could be there a part of it. Well, next time with y'all.
Dude,
sure.
we have to start planning some shows to go to there in our same area.
Absolutely.
Because I think it's super fun, man. It's just fun to have that conversation, because like, so we were literally having these talks at shows damn near almost 2 years ago. And now look at the playing field of what we have right now. There's a lot more coming out. And you bring up a very good point. All the other stuff isn't all good. So why would the stuff that's centered around us be all good? Like jewels are hard to find.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like to me, Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, that's perfect film, man. That's a perfect film. All 3 of those movies, I absolutely love it. There's not a person of color in that dang movie, but I can still appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
You know, but we need more films like that. We need more, you know, and we just have to understand that the more access we get, the more that this happens, the more that we're seeing people of color in these films, in these shows, in these games and stuff. All of it's not going to be good.
And that's totally fine, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's you know, the beautiful part about art is that the first piece that you make isn't the best piece you make. You know what I'm saying? Like every once in a while, you'll hear an artist be like, okay, well, I've been drawing for the past 30 years and I just made the best piece I've ever done because like lightning struck. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while, lightning does strike. So, I mean, but you got to be present for it and you got to be in the race. So,
ooh, I like that. I like that. You got to be in the race.
In the race. Can't just be on the sidelines talking shit, because that's a heckler and a critic. And while we appreciate people with an opinion, you know what I'm saying, it's more appreciated if you're actually in the industry doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you can be like, look, I've read Spider-Man comics for 50 years and I've read them for 20 years, and this type of story is really not indicative of the character. Now, I can appreciate somebody like that because they are, in effect, you know, very studious. I mean, they understand the character very, very well. So there's a lot of folks that were upset about the Miles Morales thing, though. When that first dropped, man, people were upset that there was going to be a Black Spider-Man. They were very, very much against it. And now, you know, Miles Morales is one of the dopest characters that Marvel has. And, you know, that was the first movie Marvel ever won an Oscar for. And then obviously Black Panther happened right after that. So it's like POC, you know what I'm saying, ethnic stories about amazing characters of color always are going to win awards because there's just much more there. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down.
Yeah. That was so crazy because I was so mad at Miles Morales. I was so mad at Marvel for doing this Spider-Man and killing Peter Parker. And not because it was going to be a half black, half Latino kid, because they advertised Spider-Man's death. Just like when they advertised Wolverine's death, I feel like you cheated me out of the emotional experience. And I know y'all don't care at the end of the day, but damn it, I do. Like, Wolverine and Spider-Man are what got me into comic books. So I don't want to be told that these characters are dying. I just want it to happen so I can have the experience. I want to be able to, like, with no pressure, enjoy your story without the back of my head thinking, oh, this is a death story, so it has to be good. It's got to cover all the bases. It's got to do this, it's got to do that. Because now you're taking me out of the framework of the story.
Yeah.
But, Where
Yeah, I was working at a comic book store. I've had a million jobs, ladies and gentlemen, right? Straight up. But I was working at a comic book store in 2010 while I was in college, and there was a story where Batman Batman was killed by Darkseid. It was a complete surprise. No one even knew that it happened until they read the book. Like, oh shit, he just killed Batman, but they didn't publicize it. But as soon as people started catching on, they were like, they bought up every issue they could, because shortly after they had that arc, like, Batman the long return or something. Like, basically he was shot back into the past and he had to make his way back to the future or whatever. It was kind of dope, you know what I'm saying? But
I
ultimately,
remember that.
they snuck it in on folks. And it was very, very much just like you said, that experience of being like, whoa, this is really kind of crazy. I love it. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to this day, dude, I still don't know if Wolverine's death was a good book. I still don't know if it was a good book because there was so much pressure on it. There was so much it had to achieve. Like, Wolverine is my daughter is named Logan, like, for that reason, because that's my character. That's what got me into it. But I will admit, the Miles Morales Spider-Man story is incredible. They did it so right. Like, Peter Parker went out like a G. He went out like a G. But I feel like if I would have got that story without the pressure of knowing this is where Peter Parker's going to die, I feel like I would have read that and I would have cried at the end of it because it was so well done. But because I knew, it took it away from me. I want that experience. I enjoy that.
Yeah, Andy says Batman: The Return of Bruce Wayne. Yep, that was the arc, man. It was real dope. Yeah, I mean, he also says, Mike, the Oliphant riders in the Lord of the Rings were black.
Were they?
I did not know that. So Andy dropping facts over here. Appreciate you, man.
Did they have on masks? Because they did, it don't count. But no, I didn't know that. Yeah, man, it's all about that. Like, I was watching, I love watching terrible movies, especially like when I'm drawing and stuff. I just throw on stuff for background noise. And I actually do dig the Battle for Los Angeles, that old sci-fi movie or whatnot, because I like it because the aliens are on the same level as the humans. So it's actually a fair fight. Like, we don't get a lot of those type of stories. And I thought,
true.
But it's this basic little action adventure flick, and then as we get closer to the final scene, it caught me completely off guard when he turns around to the little boy because he just lost his dad, and the kid and the father was a good actor, so it really sold the death. Yeah, and the Marine turns around to the kid and he's like, "You're the best Marine. You're the bravest Marine I've ever seen in my life." And I was like, "Oh shoot, the feelings!" It just came out of nowhere. Yeah.
I mean, definitely, man. Like, when you're telling people that it's going to happen, you rob them of the surprise. And you really, at that point, it's more of like a marketing ploy. It's even though, the death of Superman, I still think has had some absolutely great stories and great comics. It was very much, a marketing thing. You know what I'm saying? They understood that, hey, if we kill off, our very first superhero, the very first superhero, and we do it in this epic fashion, it's going to, really sell a lot of books. And obviously in the 90s they were hurting. Every comic book company in the 90s was hurting for comic book sales, so they were doing anything and everything they could to stay relevant and to stay fresh. And I get it, but at the same time, I think a lot of those stories are they do take the certain level of shock value away from the reader.
Yeah. And I to a degree, I mean, I get it. It's a business. Like you said, they're trying to get their sales and stuff. It just sucks for the experience. Like, I never read Lord of the Rings, the books. And, once I saw the movies, I wanted to, but I did not do it because I didn't want anything to spoil. I didn't want to be spoiled by anything. I wanted that movie experience. And I remember it was my sophomore year. Hold up. Nope. It was my junior year. And that Return of the King trailer played. I was in the student center. It was late at night, and that trailer came on TV. Dude, I started tearing up because I did not know if Frodo Baggins was going to live or die, and it looked like they were going to kill Mr. Baggins in this. I was hurting. But like the whole time as I'm watching that movie, I'm on the edge of my seat. What are we going to do here? What are we going to? Is this it? Is he gone? Like, that's part of the experience, man.
That's absolutely right. I think you can absolutely tease it, lead up to it, drop some Easter eggs that might happen. But just like you said, if you're screaming it from the hilltops, like, yo, man, at the end of this issue, it's a wrap, like, it does take something away from it. And yeah, I said, I don't think if I'm ever going to do a death in comics, I'm definitely not going to, I'm definitely not going to preach or speak about it or post it all as the main cover. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be something crazy, and unexpected. So we'll see. Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, I'm not going to advertise it because I want you to be caught off guard. Like the one time that Wolverine did die, it was right before the Skrulls came, before Secret War happened. And Wolverine went out, and I was like, "What? Mm-hmm. No, you didn't just do this, dude!" I could not wait for the next month to get the next issue, and they had him on an operating table. I was like, "Oh my god, are you serious?"
Yeah,
not Logan. And like, he went out so dope. He went out like a hero, protecting the X-Men. He was the only one there that could do it. And then he found out he's a Skrull. I'm like, why are you playing with my emotions?
Why you do that to me, man?
What up, JP?
JP, what's good, man? JP, are you with me? Hey, what up? JP says the documentary about Chris Claremont on Prime, Amazon Prime, talks about the marketing overtaking the story in the 90s. Y'all should check out. Yeah, I watched that documentary, JP. Chris Claremont's one of my favorite writers. I think that X-Men would not be half as popular as it is without the stuff that Chris Claremont did.
Mm-hmm.
He literally revitalized that. To me, it's like when people ask me who some of my favorite creators are in comics, it's like Todd McFarlane and somebody like Chris Claremont. But like, okay, Todd McFarlane's maybe not the best artist to a lot of people, but he's one of the most influential artists of all time. He literally changed the industry, and for lots of different reasons. He made Spider-Man cool again, which is a really hard thing to do because Spider-Man was cool before, but like he took Spider-Man to a whole nother level and then created a character in Spawn that was absolutely revolutionary. And then Image Comics and everything that they did. And then, what is it called? X-Men, very similar thing. Like without Chris Claremont, we would not have these amazing X-Men stories. So we're definitely appreciative of all these great comic creators, man. But you see, the moral of the story with Chris Claremont is that even though he was such a prolific and amazing writer, he gave all of that energy, all of that greatness that he had in his skill set to someone else's comic book company, to someone else's company, to someone else's vision. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing for me. It's like, I don't ever want to give all of my great ideas to someone else's company and someone else's vision. I want to give it to TJ Sterling's vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like everything that I have, I want to, every piece of greatness that I have while I'm here on this planet, I want to put that into my own stories, because I think if Chris Claremont took all those amazing ideas he had and put them into his own characters, he'd be even more relevant. He'd be on that Mark Millar shit right now, because Mark Millar took all that shit that he had in here and put that into his own comic characters, and now he's got Netflix deals and specials out the wazoo, and is paid and caked out because of it.
Absolutely. Well, look, we're coming up on an hour and 45 minutes. I still got some work to go on this. This will be the project I'll be working on this week to get it done, or whatnot, where we're at. But this will be the piece. So look, I'm gonna put them in here one more time. If you pledge to Mr. Sterling's Kickstarter and my own Kickstarter, you will get this as a digital reward for pledging to both of them. And yes, you could donate as little as $1. And you're probably like, but the dollar really doesn't do anything. Yes, the dollar does. Dollars add up, number one. All money adds up. But then the big thing about that is that we're reaching more people. The more people we have on our Kickstarters, as in backers, that increases our audience, that increases our reach, that increases our volume. So it's a numbers game, and that's what we want. The more people that see it, the more people to talk about it. And we want more people talking about our stuff. So there's a link in there to both of our Kickstarters. If you have pledged, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Please give us a share. Yes, I'm sorry, we're greedy. We're out here making these in our base. Like, we're down here in our basements making these books. So yes, we need all the help we can get.
Yeah, and I encourage people to donate more than $1. You know what I'm saying? Just because, again, $1 gets you in the door, but like the project that Michael Watson has with Hot Shot is absolutely incredible. And anything above the $5 tier actually gets you a physical reward. You know what I'm saying? You want a physical reward. So I definitely encourage you to at least $5, $10, $15, $20, and higher if you can. Same thing with Joystick Angels Kickstarter.
Yeah.
You know, $5 gets you into the door with one of the digital versions, but we got so much more great content out there that I guarantee you are absolutely going to love. So please, 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 please check out both campaigns, donate to both campaigns so you can get this dope piece of artwork. Andy made an amazing point about Colossus and the legacy virus. I mean, like I said, Andy's dropping jewels tonight. Andy, this show would not be anything if you weren't on it. So thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, bro.
That's what it does.
Yeah, Andy's dope, man. I'm looking forward to meet you in person, Andy. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Dude,
but
so the one I'm drawing right now, the one I'm doing her hair, what's her name again?
That's Tank that you're drawing.
Dude, she's my favorite.
Yeah, Tank is dope. Yeah, she's the espionage agent and strategist of the team. So she, is plotting out battle plans, you know what I'm saying? And she's like the person who is the brains behind the operation. So really, really dope character.
Yeah, she's fun. I like her. I mean, I like them all, but like, I kind of just clicked and united with her as I was drawing her out and figuring out her hair and stuff. So
yeah.
I want to thank TJ for what he said, because what he said is true, and I appreciate him saying that very much. I'm a big fan of his products, his IPs, and what he does. I really don't even need a trailer or anything. All TJ has to do is say he's doing a Kickstarter, and I'm pledging to whatever level I can get in on it or whatnot. He got me with Alchemist, and it was so dope because I blew his inbox up when I realized the villain was really the hero in the story. I said, you flipped it on me. Like, I did not see that coming. And like, dude, that's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, you may not get that if you're not making something, making comics or something like that. But to have somebody be in your DMs and say, I did not see that coming. That's a nice twist. That's a compliment, man. So, we're out here making these books. Any help that you guys can give us, you people can give us, it would be excellent. We appreciate it. I want to thank TJ for coming out here, hanging out with me tonight. We're going to get this done this week so we can get it off to colors. And like I said, any pledge level, any backing of both of our Kickstarters will get you access to it. But we got a lot of good content out there, man. A ton of cool stuff. I want to, TJ, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, super easy to find me, guys. If you're on Facebook, you can just search TJ Sterling. Easy to find me. Or if you're on IG, Twitter, or I'm not on TikTok yet. Never mind. So IG or Twitter, you can find me at Ray Comics, RAE Comics. And the link to the Kickstarter is in my bio, but it's also in this description. So you see the video, you're watching it later, or you're watching it now. Click the link in this bio, and just pledge away. You know what I'm saying, and help us get to these higher numbers so we can get you guys more stuff.
Right. I'm at $6,723. Once we hit 7,000, we're unlocking another stretch goal, and that will actually give you a 7-page preview of our new comic, The Zero Event, which is written by Victor Dandridge, drawn by Mike Lancet, and colored by Veronica Smith. And if anybody's been reading the Hot Shot books, The Zero Event is very important to our story arc. TJ right now is rocking at $14,928. What stretch goal are you on?
15K is masterclass in art and music. Ooh. So once we hit 15K, anyone who donates to the Kickstarter has an option to take a masterclass from me in comics and Kickstarters, or a masterclass in music and production from my brother, J. Spencer Sterling, a seasoned veteran music producer.
Awesome. Let me check one last thing. It was acting up today. But we are streaming on Twitter right now. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on 3 Facebook pages. We're streaming on Twitch. And we were, let me see here. No, it didn't work today. But it'll be up on YouTube. It'll be up on Facebook. It's up on Twitch, and it's up on Twitter right now. So plenty of places where you guys can come check this out.
Dope. Yeah. Thank you again for having me on the show, Mike. As always, it's an honor to watch you do your thing and watch you draw these masterpieces and just to chop it up with you, man. You're a fun guy to talk to. And yeah, y'all connect with me online, please. I'd love to continue to get to know you, talk with you. Andy says he's pledging after the show. Thank you so much, Andy. I appreciate you. Appreciate the conversation, man. Thank you for being part of the show. We had a great time, so we'll be doing it again soon.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for coming out here, man. It's always a pleasure to have you. And so I'm always looking forward to drawing your stuff, drawing your characters and all that goodness. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow we're going to be, I don't know where I'm going to be at tomorrow. You'll find out. I'll stream or something. But thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one, everybody.
I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that